If you're a student or beginner trying to understand IT, information systems, or programming without the confusing jargon, welcome to LD Tech Lab. Make sure to subscribe, and let's break this topic down step by step.
Welcome to this masterclass on performing student roles in a programming capstone project. I'm going to show you how to transform your capstone from just another requirement into real career experience that will make you employable. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what each role does in industry terms, how to implement professional workflows, and how to use your capstone project to boost your resume. Let's get started. Here's the truth that nobody tells you: most capstone projects fail. But not for the reason you think. They don't fail because students lack programming skills. They fail because teams don't operate like real software companies. Think about it. You can code. You can design databases. You can build interfaces. But if your team is chaotic, if communication breaks down, if one person ends up doing 70% of the work while others disappear, the project suffers. Today, you're going to learn 4 critical things. First, what each role really does in industry terms. Second, how to implement actual industry workflows using tools like GitHub, Trello, and Agile methodologies. Third, how to avoid the common team disasters that destroy capstone projects. And fourth, how to leverage your capstone experience to make your resume stand out to employers. This isn't just about passing. This is about becoming employable. Before we dive into specific roles, you need a fundamental mindset shift. Your capstone team is not a group assignment. It's a mini software company. Let's use a real example. Say your project is a school enrollment management system. In a real company, they wouldn't just divide the work randomly and hope for the best. They'd use Agile or Scrum methodologies. Here's a simple Agile workflow adapted for students. First, work in 1 to 2 week sprints. A sprint is just a focused work period with specific goals. Second, use a visual task board. Tools like Trello, GitHub Projects, or Notion let everyone see what needs to be done, what's in progress, and what's completed. Third, hold a weekly 15-minute stand-up meeting. Everyone shares what they did, what they're working on, and any blockers they're facing. Fourth, practice continuous improvement. After each sprint, reflect on what worked and what didn't. This is how real tech companies operate. And this is how your capstone team should operate. Now let's talk about the specific roles. Role number 1, Project Manager, also known as Scrum Master in industry. Let's be clear about what this role really does. It's not just about telling people what to do. A project manager breaks the entire system into manageable modules. For our enrollment system example, that means separating authentication, student records, payment tracking, and reports into distinct modules. They assign tasks based on team members' strengths and availability. They monitor sprint progress using the task board, making sure nothing falls through the cracks. They remove blockers. If someone's stuck waiting for another team member or needs clarification, the PM solves it. And they report project status to advisors or panelists. So how do you actually start doing this? Step 1. Break your system into modules. Look at your enrollment system and identify authentication module, student records module, payment module, reports module. Step 2. Create a sprint plan. Week 1 and 2, focus on login and database setup. Week 3 and 4, tackle the enrollment module. Step 3. Run a weekly 15-minute stand-up meeting. Keep it short and focused. This is real project management. And you can talk about it in interviews. Now let's talk about how to measure your performance and sell this experience. Track 3 key metrics: your module completion rate. What percentage of planned features actually got done? Missed versus completed tasks. This shows your planning accuracy. And sprint review results. Did stakeholders approve your deliverables? Here's the resume advantage. In job interviews, you can confidently say, I managed sprint planning and team task allocation using GitHub and Trello. Do you see how powerful that is? You're not saying, I did a school project. You're speaking the language of the tech industry. That's what gets you hired. Role number 2, lead developer, which in industry is called a system architect or back-end developer. What does this role really do? First, they design the system architecture. They draw out how the front end connects to the back end, and how the back end connects to the database. Second, they choose the tech stack. What framework? What database? What libraries? Third, they implement the core logic. The complex business rules, the data processing, the API endpoints. Fourth, They review code quality. They make sure the codebase is clean, maintainable, and follows best practices. How do you start properly? Step 1. Draw your architecture diagram. Frontend talks to backend, backend talks to database. Make it visual. Step 2. Structure your project folders cleanly. Don't just throw everything in one directory. Separate models, controllers, views, utilities. Step 3. Use Git branches properly. You have a main branch that's always stable. Then create feature branches like feature login and feature enrollment. Work on features in isolation, then merge them when they're tested and ready. This is professional software development. Notice we're not just writing code randomly. We're architecting a system. For performance metrics, track your weekly commit frequency to GitHub. Are you consistently pushing progress? Track your bug resolution rate. How quickly do you fix issues? And track code review improvements. Is your code quality getting better over time? The resume advantage here is massive. You can say in interviews, I designed modular backend architecture and implemented REST-based structure. Now that sounds employable. That's not a student project anymore. That's professional software engineering experience. And employers recognize the difference. Role number 3, UI, UX and front-end developer. This role creates wireframes before writing any code. They don't just start building. They plan the user experience first. They implement responsive UI that works on desktop, tablet, and mobile. And they ensure usability by asking one critical question. Can a non-IT person use this easily? Your enrollment system might be technically perfect, but if the registrar's office staff can't figure out how to use it, you've failed. How do you excel in this role? Step 1. Create wireframes before coding. Sketch the screens. Map the user flow. Step 2. Maintain design consistency. Don't use 5 different button styles across your app. Step 3. Conduct usability testing. Give your system to someone who's never seen it and watch them try to use it. You'll immediately see what's confusing. For performance metrics, track UI consistency across all pages. Track user testing feedback. Track your responsiveness score on different devices. The resume advantage. You can say, I designed and implemented a responsive user interface with usability testing feedback. That's industry language. That's what front-end developers actually do. Role number 4, QA and documentation specialist. In industry, this encompasses QA engineers, business analysts, and technical writers. What do they really do? They write test cases, not just random testing, but structured scenarios. They execute testing systematically, documenting every result. They record bugs in a log with details about how to reproduce the issue. And they maintain documentation so anyone can understand how the system works. How do you start? Step 1. Create test scenarios. For the enrollment system, test invalid login attempts. Test duplicate enrollment submissions. Test payment failure handling. Don't just test the happy path where everything works. Test the edge cases and error conditions. Step 2. Maintain a bug log. Don't just tell your developer, hey, it's broken. Document exactly what you did, what you expected, and what actually happened. Step 3. Update documentation weekly. Don't wait until the end. Document as you go. For performance metrics, count the number of test cases you created. Track your bug detection rate. Measure documentation completeness. The resume advantage is powerful. You can say, I developed structured test cases and maintained system documentation aligned with UML standards. Now you sound trained. You sound like a professional QA engineer. Remember, every role in your capstone translates to real industry experience. The QA role is no exception. Companies desperately need people who can think systematically about testing, who can document clearly, and who can ensure quality before software reaches users. This is your proof that you can do exactly that. Now let's talk about something crucial that nobody teaches you: conflict management. Here are the real student problems you'll face. One person ends up doing 70% of the work. Classic capstone problem: ghost team members who disappear after the first week. Missed deadlines that cascade into panic at the end. And communication breakdown where nobody knows what anyone else is doing. Sound familiar? Here's the professional solution. Document all tasks clearly on your task board. Make everything visible. Use that visible task board so there's no ambiguity about who's supposed to do what. Address issues early. Don't wait until the last week to confront a team member who hasn't contributed. And escalate to your advisor if needed. If you've documented the problem and tried to solve it, your advisor can help. Here's the key insight: leadership is tested here. Panelists don't just evaluate your technical skills. They evaluate whether you can work in a team, handle conflict professionally, and deliver results under pressure. This is where your soft skills matter as much as your code. Let's talk about how panelists actually evaluate your capstone. First, system functionality. Does it work? Does it meet the requirements? Second, team coordination. Can you demonstrate that everyone contributed meaningfully? Third, clear explanation of roles. Can each team member articulate what they did and why it mattered? Fourth, documentation clarity. Is your technical documentation professional and complete? Fifth, testing evidence. Can you prove you tested systematically? Here's the red flag panelists watch for. If your team stands in front of them and someone says, sir, siya po lahat gumawa, meaning, this one person did everything, you're in trouble. Panelists want structure. They want to see evidence of professional teamwork. That's why everything we've discussed today matters. The task boards, the sprint planning, the documented roles, the testing logs. It's all evidence that you operated like a real software team. Now here's how you leverage all of this for career growth. After graduation, when you're in job interviews, you can say, I worked in an Agile-based student team. Boom, you're speaking their language. I handled back-end architecture design. You're demonstrating system-level thinking. I managed sprint cycles and task allocation. You're showing project management capability. I performed structured system testing. You're proving quality mindset. Do you see what happened? Your capstone is no longer just a requirement you completed to graduate. It's experience. Real, demonstrable, professional experience. When entry-level developers compete for jobs, most of them only have coursework to talk about. But you have industry-relevant project experience using industry-standard methodologies and tools. That's the competitive advantage that gets you hired. Your capstone becomes the centerpiece of your resume and your interview stories. Let me leave you with this final thought. Capstone is your rehearsal for the tech industry. You have two choices: treat it casually, and you just pass. You get your degree, but you walk away with nothing special. Or treat it professionally, and you grow. You walk away with real skills, real experience, and real evidence that you can succeed in the tech industry. So here's the real question. Are you doing capstone? Or are you building your first tech career foundation? The choice is yours. But now you know exactly how to make that choice count. Implement these roles professionally. Document your work. Use industry tools and methodologies. Handle conflicts like a professional. And when you graduate, you won't just be a fresh graduate with a degree. You'll be someone with demonstrable professional experience. That's how you stand out. That's how you get hired. Good luck with your capstone project. Now go make it count.
If this video helped you understand the topic better, please like, subscribe to LD Tech Lab, and comment below what you want to learn next. Your questions help shape future lessons.